What's up everybody, Supersmallchibiwolf, and today I'm going to be talking about the current state of retro games, so let's get into this. So, within this part of the video, I'm going to be discussing about a few things that I think is very important to discuss because a lot of people, I think, is kind of not, they're kind of thinking weird. So, let's continue. The first thing I would like to discuss is value of games and the price and if a item is valuable, the price is going to be up. I think a lot of people could agree. For example, Chrono Trigger and Earthbound. Earthbound is more valuable than Chrono Trigger. Earthbound is a diamond, while Chrono Trigger is gold. Both of them are valuable. Both of them are wonderful. I'm using two different. Okay, there's two definitions of valuable. How valuable being, oh, it is a rare item. It has value in the world. You know what I mean? A diamond, it's valuable, really valuable. It's more valuable than gold. You know what I mean? But both are very valuable. Both are very wonderful. And yes, because any game you could say, any retro game you could say that sold millions and millions, like Super Mario 64, hey, you could use the discussion of, oh, they don't sell that anymore, so that should be thousands and thousands of dollars, right? No, I don't agree with that, but that could be a discussion people could have just because something stopped selling. But that's just a whole different thing, by the way. I just wanted to bring that up. So, but yeah, Oathbound is a diamond, while Chrono Trigger is gold. Let me discuss that. Why? Let me discuss that. Oathbound did not sell well when it came out. Oathbound was not a lot of people buying it. It was kind of left on the side. It didn't sell well. It was not beloved. This and that. While Chrono Trigger was a very, very popular game, it had people such as Akira Toriyama working on it, the creator of Dragon Ball, Sakaguchi, the creator of Final Fantasy, and other wonderful creators coming together to work on Chrono Trigger. It's an amazing game, wonderful, and beloved by many. A lot of people have it in their collection. A lot of people wanted this game. Chrono Trigger is not as valuable as Earthbound. I'm sorry. A game that has sold so many copies, that has been beloved, ported, this and that so many times. That's the life of Chrono Trigger. It's not valuable. It's not a rare game. You know what I mean? Price-wise, it's not valuable. Of course, when we're talking about wonderful, amazing games, Chrono Trigger's on Super Nintendo, amazing Super Nintendo game lists, and I agree with that. Chrono Trigger's amazing and cool, just like Earthbound. But when it comes down to pricing, and because it sold a lot and has a lot of copies out there in the world compared to Earthbound, which doesn't, Chrono Trigger is not as, you cannot price Chrono Trigger the same as Earthbound. I'm sorry. This game, and yeah, like I said before, it's an old game. You can't buy new no more, and this and that. Like, yeah, that could be said about anything, like I said, But no, Chrono Trigger should not be as priced as Earthbound. It's ridiculous, and it's just awful that a lot of people try to do that. And I don't care if it's one of the most famous or popular Super Nintendo games, just like Earthbound is, because Super Mario World is very, very popular. And correct me if I'm wrong, but Super Mario outsold both of these. The Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past is a very popular and beloved video game on the Super Nintendo. And correct me if I'm wrong, outsold both of these, but still, like, come on, like, this is just ridiculous in my opinion. Next, I would like to discuss about items. Yes, the controls. I've been trying to look for the Donkey Kong 64 controller for a while, I think it's pretty cool design. Most likely going to be the last item I'm going to collect for. I kind of don't want a lot of things when it comes to retro games myself. But the 64 controller looks cool. This will be a valuable item. This is the equivalent. Okay, this is the Earthbound of N64 controllers. You could have only gotten this ordering it online. Ordering it through like magazine subscription or something like that, Nintendo Power, right? And that's the only way you could have gotten this controller. It's not, oh, I walked into a store and I could get it back then easily. No, it's not one of those items. And even if it was one of those items, it does have the unfortunate, um, you know, fate of Earthbound, which was also sold in items, not on a specialty like Donkey Kong 64. So yeah, it's a rare item. I personally think that because even other consoles have like accessories and variations of their console, like Dreamcast, for example, Sega Dreamcast. There are rare Sega Dreamcasts out there that's special edition and this and that, and also PlayStations. And I would like to discuss about, you know, these rare editions and special editions consoles, like the, as you can see, Mobile Suit Gundam, Nintendo GameCube, Shaw bundle. It's cool. I love the design, and this is a rare item, which is acceptable as well. Not a lot of copies were printed. It's the equivalent of Earthbound in a way, because not a lot was there. There's not a lot of N64, Donkey Kong 64, and 64 controls. Not a lot of Earthbounds. Not a lot of Nintendo GameCube, Shaw, Mobile Suit Gundam, Shaw edition. But there's a lot of Chrono Trigger. You see the issue now? This is these three own in the same league as, Chrono Trigger is not in the same league as these three. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's kind of ridiculous. A lot of people try to put it as that. Now, don't get me wrong. Maybe I might be wrong. This might be a very rare game nowadays, but from what I've heard, it sold very, very well compared to Earthbound. And then yet, I'm seeing it same price, similar price, maybe just like a little difference or whatever. And it's just ridiculous, in my opinion. Now, with that being said, let's continue on. So, here we are. Now, when it comes down to retro games, I have discussed within this video not what I think, but what I know should not be as, priced as much as other items due to, and I've used examples of why, and examples that if you do research, you could easily find out why. I think a lot of times nowadays, especially, now I have to say something, I have seen some game prices go down compared to the previous years, but I want to also say it's just getting ridiculous for some prices and for some certain consoles and for some games. It's just kind of ridiculous, you know what I mean? Some priced items. And yeah, I think hopefully a lot of people, what I really want is a lot of prices to go back down like normal, so a lot of people could get what they want, so a lot of gamers could enjoy gaming. And it's not fair to, for those people as well, especially new people who's wanting to collect, wanting to get into this hobby, wanting to get into the retro gaming community. And I see these and I feel sympathy for them. I feel bad for them. I want people to have a cool looking N64 collection like this. Hopefully you can see this, the mouse, or Sega Genesis, it doesn't matter what console, a Neo Geo if you're interested in that, because overall gaming should be for fun. Gaming should be a hobby that a lot of people should enjoy together and should be able to afford. And long story short, a lot of, not getting too much into this discussion, but a lot of real life related issues. So going into like gaming or other forms of entertainment is a good way to escape reality and have fun. But unfortunately, certain items, which in this case retro video games, or newer video games, are getting pricey as well too, to be honest. But retro video games, it's kind of becoming more pricey and becoming more expensive, and it's kind of ruining. It is ruining the hobby, and I feel bad when I see a guy or a girl who's like, you know what, I want to collect for this console. I never played this console, but I've always seen this, commercials. I remember seeing the commercials in TV. I remember seeing the posters everywhere, similar to how I felt about, like, for example, Pokemon Diamond. And me, I had a PSP at the time. That's why I didn't have a 3DS XL or a DS or whatever. Other people had it. Similar to, that was my case when it came to all of that, and I feel them. I've been in that situation. I know how it feels. So I feel bad for them. And I really hope retro games could be more affordable for those people. And for you all as well who's trying to collect and get into this hobby, this wonderful hobby. Because us gamers, we all have something in common. We have a passion and we have love and we want to collect and see our, just at least try out these wonderful games, I think that would be cool. There's some games I used to think a few years ago, I want to get games that, try out new games that I haven't tried out before. And after doing that for past few years, I've noticed, wow, there's a lot of great games. So the games I had in mind wanting to go collect, those were really the best that the consoles had to offer, and yeah, unfortunately, those special games that the console has to offer for is the price is ridiculous, and I do not enjoy it. Now, hopefully, with the power of the wonderful waifus and the Pikachus, especially, look at these wonderful Pikachu right here, will set us a brighter future. That's what this represents, a brighter future for us retro game fans. You see, the many Pikachus are supporting him, wonderful, ready to attack anyone who's trying to overprice things. And then you see Charizard and Bulbasaur, and Blastoise. I mean, not Bulbasaur, Blastoise. Sorry about that. Really all in the morning, but everything's quiet. So, yeah. So you see wonderful Charizard and Blastoise playing around and having a nice, friendly, competitive match. That's how retro games should be. Us being together, us having fun, and us having just a wonderful time talking about and playing the games that we love and or grew up with. Who some reason maybe they've lost the copy due to maybe moving in the past or this and that, which is unfortunate. I personally kind of, I don't know if I lost it or maybe someone took it, I don't know. But my Mario Kart 64 for the Nintendo 64, so that's one of them that I was looking for also recently, which is kind of hard to find. But yeah, pretty much that's the last game I want, and yeah. So with that being that, and I really hope you all get the best price of retro games out there, and I hope this video helps you kind of think about stuff, kind of think about, is this really the best, day or month to collect? Maybe the prices are getting better for you. I recommend going back and checking certain prices. I want to warn you all, Neo Geo, from what I researched, I've been researching different game consoles, even ones that I wasn't even interested in. Let me just say real quick, Neo Geo is expensive like always. It's always been expensive. Sega Saturn has always been somewhat expensive. It's always kind of been expensive. The games itself and the console, kind of really thinking about it. But I've also seen it kind of good priced, as well in the past. And N64 definitely overpriced. PS1 surprisingly is affordable somewhat, and GameCube is debatable. It did go down in price from what I'm experiencing and from what I've seen recently. And I got Sonic Adventures, for example, this year, 1 and 2, and it was for a reasonable price, I'm not gonna lie. And so that's why I'm kind of like, I named this video the current state of retro games, and not like the concerning issues, like the past. Because the past, when I made that first video, it was a very, very deep issue I think we were all going through when it came to retro games, and that needed to really be discussed. But nowadays, I think it's getting better. So that's why I put the current state of retro games, because I think some consoles and some games are getting better, when it comes to prices getting more reasonable, but then there's still that problematic issue for certain games that are being overpriced for no reason, and it's ridiculous, and I needed to talk about it. So yeah, also let me just say before I end off the video, let me know what video games are you looking for, what retro games or what new games you want. You know, I'm interested in seeing what you all have to say. What's the latest pickups you all have picked up? For me, it was Pokemon Puzzle League for the Nintendo 64. So yeah, and yeah, let me know in the comments what games you want. You know, give me a list. I'm interested in continue this discussion of retro games. I love this discussion. So with that being that, I hope you enjoyed the video. Princess Zelda is so wonderful. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and until next time, bye.